Mr. Bill, here we are at the SMMT South test day.
Yes, I think it's a great opportunity to try out many different vehicles from many different manufacturers.
Yes, all in the same place on the same day.
Indeed.
They do know who we are, don't they?
I hope so.
Yes, perhaps if they look at our videos, they might not invite us back. But let's not think about that now. There's just one problem, though.
And what's the problem?
I've forgotten my tweed jacket. Welcome to slightly shambolic SMMT reviews.
Anger, and every time you haven't got it right, you're one of us. Do you know and do you know that you are not? Do you know and do you know that you are not? It's important for you to realise that you are not gonna notice.
So welcome to the first car for our slightly shambolic SMMT reviews. I think we're going to have to turn that stereo off because that is a little bit annoying. This is a 2021 Dacia Sandero Stepway. It's got the 90 horsepower TCe engine. It's a 3-cylinder unit. This is in the Prestige trim, and it costs around £15,000 as tested. The range starts at about £11,000. I think the standard Sandero's a sub £10,000 car, which it always used to be. Trim levels available: Essential, Comfort and Prestige. And straight away, I have driven before a original Logan MCV. I don't think it had an engine we can talk about. It's funny that Dacia seemed to have listened to the feedback about about what happens on my channel, and they've got rid of all the forbidden fuel cars from their range. So they're all variants of this particular engine. It's a 3-cylinder unit with a turbo. I don't remember if the 65 brake horsepower bottom of the range model actually has a turbo or not, but the one that's above this is actually an interesting one. It's a bi-fuel engine, which is 100 horsepower. It's the only way to get yourself an LPG and petrol car is to buy a Dacia. There aren't any other conversions. Back in the day, Proton, I know, used to do one, and many other manufacturers used to have them, but Dacia are the only people who do them now. Because this car has the same chassis as the current Renault Clio, and things like the Nissan Note, which isn't sold on the market anymore, and the Duke, it feels significantly better to drive. It's a lot quicker and a lot nicer through the bends. Certainly, it's not a sports car, this, and the raised ride height over the standard Sandero sort of really shows that. But nevertheless, it feels good. This 6-speed manual gearbox is nice and slick. Obviously, this car's only done 2,200 miles, so it's not representative of the sort of thing that most people would drive. There is also, I believe, an automatic available. It just feels like such a more grown-up car. It's astonishing. The only real problem with this is that at this sort of price range, this top of the range car in this lovely sort of orange paintwork is sort of encroaching on sort of the lower level of things like the MG ZS and the Ssangyong Tivoli. Right, let's now just park up and take a look at the car in more detail. Okay viewers, if we were doing tweed jacket reviews, we would be spending a lot more time doing this, but we've only got about half an hour with this car, so we're going to have to be nice and quick. One thing I noticed straight away about this car is that it's got front parking sensors. Who would have thought front parking sensors on a Sandero? These diamond cut alloy wheels are rather nice. They are 16-inch tyres. and there's keyless entry. We've got one of these famous sort of Renault style keys. I mean, I've just walked up to the car and it's decided that it's going to just sort of unlock it for me, which is nice. There we go. There's the key. I just wouldn't expect to see this on this sort of car, knowing the previous generation one. I think those are actually drum brakes on the back, so there is a very slight evidence of cost cutting here. But then, if you want to keep the starting price of your car about £11,000, you've got to do something. Another thing that I've noticed is that unless you are, you know, not familiar with the older Sanderos, you'll sort of think, why am I talking about the fact that you can open the boot without putting the key in the slot? But that's a big deal actually, because the older ones you couldn't do that. The boot is about 320 litres. It's the same size as the previous Sandero Stepway, and also the boot locking mechanism is no longer exposed, which I remember as well from the older ones. If you open up the adjustable height boot floor, it's actually got I think that's a full-size spare. Wow, just pretty good. Jack's actually in the side of there. I've got 4 shopping bag hooks. Brilliant. We can vary the height of the floor, which I won't do because we just don't really have time. It's possible to just pull that down like that. Yeah, it's very smart. It's really smart. You can actually pop the boot with the key as well if you want to. Why is it not doing it? Oh, okay. Maybe it's a different way. Parking sensors on the back of this one. One thing I don't see is a reversing camera. I'll see in a second if we've got one. It's possible that is actually an option. See if the fuel flap is the same as the previous ones. So unlock. That's interesting. Must be a release inside the car. I hope we don't have to put the key in the fuel cap like we used to. Let's just get in the back quickly. I can see straight away that we've got an enormous amount of headroom in here. The seat is adjusted for my driving position. I'm 5'11", so I'm not that tall. So knee room is a little bit restricted, but it's not too bad. It's certainly for this sort of car, given how inexpensive it is, it's pretty good. There is no centre armrest. I wasn't expecting one. It would be silly of me really to criticise a car at this price level for the sort of cheap plastics and things and hard plastics, because an MG ZS and Sandero Tivoli, they both have this sort of thing in them as well. And we've got rear door pockets, rear electric windows. That was an option, I think, on a lot of the top of the line Dacias back in the day. Headroom is really generous. I mean, it's really good. I've got a 12-volt socket there as well, so that means the car's got 2 USB ports, they're both in the front. See how easy it is to get out. Oh, that's really easy. That's really easy. If you're slightly shorter than me, it'll be even better. So we'll just get into the front. Excuse all the kind of random stuff we've got in here today. It's just, we've got to just be quick about what we're doing. So no digital cluster, but I prefer, to be honest, an analog display. So that's absolutely fine for me. There's a 6-speed gearbox, an electronic parking brake. Wow. And because we've got keyless entry, there's a start-stop button here, which I'm just going to do to just light up the controls. Thank goodness they are conventional heating and ventilation controls in this car, which is brilliant. We've got little accents on these vents, which show the body colour of the car. Now, my phone is mounted up there. That's the one we're going to use for a bit of the sort of driving section and stuff. But actually, if you were going to use it as a sat-nav, you can see that should have given you a place to put it, and they've put a USB port behind there as well. Both the USB ports are not USB-C, which is brilliant. Nice, simple instrument display. There's not really an awful lot to say about this. It reminds me of the one that's in Sandero Tivoli actually. So if you go skip through here, tyre pressure monitoring, you can actually have the engine temperature mode. I think we're in eco mode, which is good. Shows you the oil life and the service. So can we go a different way? Yes, we can. There we go. So it shows you which seat belts are on. There's the average fuel consumption, current, well, we're stationary. Wow, 470 miles. It's pretty good. Yeah, average speed and that sort of stuff. Right, let's have a look at this touchscreen. I think we have to turn this on. I might have to mute this because I know it's been muted. Wow, we've actually got sat-nav in this car. Yeah, we're actually stationary, so that's all okay. Yeah, we are just near Basingstoke for the SMMT day here. And it's got spot integration. I presume that's Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. I would need to add one if I was going to do that. What does vehicles do? Settings, and the famous Renault Dacia driving eco tips and things like that, which it's a bit like a game. There we go. Oh, I'm not doing very well. I've only got 50 out of 100. Oh dear. Eco coaching, yes, I remember of that. You know, just talking about use the order up by Castrol, trying to accelerate too hard, change gear more quickly, that kind of stuff, anticipation, that kind of thing. Yeah, you know, it's not bad. It's a nice system. It looks pretty easy to use. Have we got any more apps on here? No, we haven't. And then we've got probably some settings in there. Oh, wow. Yes, we've got all kinds of things. We've got parking assistance. So we have got a rear view camera. Where was the rear view camera? Can we turn that on? We've got access, all these sort of functions. Walk away closing, which actually seems to be activated on here. Driving assist, yeah. Blind spot monitoring. Wow. Oh, yes, all these sort of safety bits on here. That's really good. I'm actually really impressed with this car. That's very, very impressive. Let's go back on there. Right, Mr. Bill's thing is in the way here. We apologize for the thing vibrating. Oh no. There's no way my secret mission documents are fitting in there, viewers. No way at all. The glove box doesn't feel the highest quality, but you know, it's okay. This feels very nice, this leather rim wheel. I don't think that's standard on all of the Sanderos. It's nice to have material actually here. A lot of cars don't give you sort of material like this on the door at this sort of price point, and nice interior door handles, electric mirrors, electric windows, automatic lights, automatic wipers, and also got here some remote controls for the stereo in true Renault style. I think those first came in the 1980s. Brilliant. Right, let's just take a quick look at the engine. I think we've got at least LED daytime running lights on this car, which is great. Not all of them I can see. The indicator bulbs are just normal ones. Let's pop that bonnet open. So here is the 1 litre 3-cylinder engine developing 90 horsepower. As you can see, we've actually got the I think there's a coil pack on top of there. The spark plug wires run on top of there, they're exposed. There's no engine cover on this, which is interesting, and the dipstick is at a really weird angle. Mind you, for a modern car, I mean, I can almost see the gearbox down there, so it's not bad. It's generally a kind of sign of an accessible engine, and the Sandero is sold in so many markets that you don't want it to be too complicated for people to work on. Batteries in a nice conventional place. It doesn't look too bad for sort of long-term servicing things. It's got the bright green coolant. I've not seen that in a car for a while. Interesting. Right, I think we need to go just for another quick drive. This car is a huge improvement over the previous generation Sandero and Logan MCV. I really can't believe how much more refined it is. Now, it's still a cheap car, and you can tell it's still a cheap car in some ways, such as the quality of some of these interior plastics, but to be honest, if you're only paying this amount of money for the car and it feels this refined to drive, and it will inevitably have very low running costs, I don't think that's a primary concern. It's just extraordinary that the Dacia and Renault together have actually managed to put something like this together for the price that they have. I think it's really good. I don't know if Mr. Bill's family, who own a previous generation Sandero Stepway, will be rushing out to buy this new one, possibly. But I've actually quite enjoyed it. So thank you ever so much indeed for watching this episode of slightly shambolic SMMT reviews. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and leave a comment below. And social media links are down below. Thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching.
Anger, and every time you haven't got it right, you're one of us. Do you know, and do you know that you are known? Do you know, and do you know that you are known?